What is going on, guys? Chris here, and today we have an unboxing. Oh. The world is not ready for that hair yet. Today we have an unboxing coming from brickcubes.co.uk. This is sort of a follow-up to the last unboxing that I did. Joe's decided to send me two budget puzzles, a 2x2 and a 3x3, and I'm going to pit them against the 2x2 and the 3x3 that I received in my last unboxing. For a long time I believed that high-end and world-class 3x3s aren't necessarily the cube that you need. For example, I solve around 20 seconds with CFOP and around 30 seconds with RU, so I don't really need the MoYu WeiLong WRM. It's a bit too fast for me, and I think for the most part cheaper and budget cubes sometimes work better for slower solvers. So in today's video we're actually going to be exploring that a little bit closer with these two budget cubes. So a note from Joe. Hey Chris, I've included the Mofang Jiaoshi MF2S and MF3RS3. A budget 2x2 and 3x3 from Mofang Jiaoshi. Oh hi Gus. How are you doing? That's Gus. That's these two puzzles here, and I'm going to be comparing them to these two puzzles here. The MoYu WeiLong MF3 and the MoYu ZhanLang 2x2. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are. This, I assume, is the 3x3, and for a budget cube, this is a really nice box. Kind of looks like the WeiLong WRM, but cube in classroom, that's kind of the mark of it being a budget 3x3, kind of for learning and getting used to speed cubing, I suppose. And then here is the MF2S. Of course, it's a 2x2, and I'm pretty sure this is also a cube in classroom puzzle. Okay, so here we are. Really nice stickering on this. This is a nice looking puzzle right out of the box. Okay, so first turns, feels kind of scratchy. Oh, and a little tiny bit locky, but it is a 2x2 and I'm pretty bad at 2x2, so I don't know if that's just me overshooting or something. Actually, that feels alright. It's a little catchy, but it's not actually a huge issue, except when I'm doing algorithms. In fact, I'm just gonna do a quick solve. Yeah, I can definitely feel a couple of locks, which is a bit unfortunate. But we'll see how it does with the solve. I'm still using Ortega because I am a loser. Okay, oh, what is this algorithm? Do I know how to solve 2x2 still? Obviously not. What was that? Okay, there's your solve. Didn't even get a chance to feel the cube because I messed up the algorithm. But yeah, it's got a nice speed. It's just a little unstable, and it locks up a tiny bit, which I guess is to be expected for a puzzle like this. It's pretty cheap, and it is of course a budget puzzle. In fact, how much is this puzzle? Let's take a look. Okay, it's $2.99. It's a $2.99 puzzle, and if the page would load, you'd be able to see it, but it's $2.99 right here. Okay, so this is obviously £3, 3 British pounds compared to the 15 that the ZhanLang is, and of course the ZhanLang is like the best 2x2, or one of the best 2x2s you can get, and this one doesn't catch at all. There's no scratchiness, it's very smooth, really buttery actually, and it feels really nice. I have a tendency on this puzzle to overshoot a little bit just because it's super fast, but because of the corner cutting and the lack of catching, it kind of makes up for it. So yeah, I think first impressions right out the box, this is obviously way better, but then you're spending 5 times as much on this puzzle. With this particular puzzle, it's kind of unstable, a little bit scratchy, it doesn't feel anywhere near as nice. But I'm also trying to do super fast algorithms. I reckon if you're just learning 2x2, for example, and you're getting 15 to 20 second solves, you won't have an issue. But right out of the box, first impressions, this obviously is the winner. I don't actually think that'll be the same for the 3x3s because I've had a really hard time getting used to the WeiLong WRM, and you'll see why coming up pretty soon, and I also have a video coming out very shortly too. But let's break open the MF3 RS3. Oh wow, so for a budget cube you get everything. Oh cool, you get a really cool MoYu stand, and it comes with these tensioning tools and of course a screwdriver and, well, all the good stuff at the bottom that no one ever looks at. This is listed on Brick Cubes as $5.99, so it's £6, which is double the price of the 2x2. I guess that's to be expected, but compared to the $23.99 MoYu WeiLong WRM, this is obviously way cheaper. So, let's see how this performs. Okay. This is way smoother than the 2x2. It's kind of wispy, very smooth though. It's a little bit slower, but it feels pretty stable. I like that. I mean, there's no magnets or anything in this puzzle. Wow, I like that a lot. Nice, okay. Yeah, this is really good. I like this a lot. I'm very much in favor of these slower turning puzzles that are way more controllable and way more stable. I get on quite well with magnets for that reason. I don't know if I tend to overshoot. But this is much slower than the WRM. The WRM is super speedy, super fast, and I really like that. It's way smoother than this puzzle from my first impressions, which I think is a good thing. But even with the magnets, I find this puzzle a little bit more unstable. And I'll get to why very soon. This puzzle is way too fast for me, and I overshoot way too much. Wait, what was that? That shouldn't have happened. Okay, cool. So I've been having a really hard time with the WeiLong WRM simply because it is too good. This is one of the fastest 3x3s I have ever had the pleasure of solving, but for that reason I can't solve very well on it. You can of course tighten this puzzle, and I'm pretty sure you could use a high viscosity lubrication to kind of slow it down a little bit, but the tighter you make it, you start compromising the corner cutting ability and it starts locking up a lot more. So I find that I have to keep it loose in order for it to stay more flexible and to corner cut and to make up for my sloppy turns, but in doing so, the puzzle's way too fast for me. I keep on overshooting even with the magnets, and it's just quite hard to solve on it. I have to force myself to slow down during a solve in order to make it more controllable. And this is one of the main issues I have found with 3x3s nowadays. And of course, if we're including 2x2, which I never solve, 2x2 as well. I appreciate that solving a cube within 10 seconds is not a rare thing anymore. A lot of people can do it, and it's super duper impressive, and they need cubes like this to get those times. But I think that the vast majority of cubers, especially those that haven't been doing it for so long, aren't that fast. Especially not me. I've been cubing for almost 10 years and I can still only solve in about 15 seconds at my best. World-class speed cubing is not for everybody, and I think that's something that's really important when we think about what cubes we're gonna buy. I know for a fact I don't need this puzzle. This is one of the best 3x3s ever, in my humble opinion. But it's too good. I can't solve on it because I'm not good enough for that cube. It's like buying a really expensive musical instrument before you can even play it. You're not going to get the most out of it because you're not good enough yet. So I think I would actually prefer this 3x3 over my main because it's more controllable, it's a little bit more stable, and I know that it's going to support me when I do sloppier turns. It's not going to overshoot and do a U2 instead of a U. You know, and this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. I did a video about budget cubes quite a while ago, and I found that I solved better on budget 3x3s. That's just the way that it is. I understand why people want to buy the most expensive 3x3 because they believe that it's gonna make them solve better. And I don't doubt that for the most part, that's probably true. Probably the same with 2x2s as well. I can't really say for sure because I'm bad at 2x2. I can't really do algorithms on either of these puzzles. I just like the feel of this one more. I really love this 3x3 and I really love this 3x3. But when it comes down to actually solving, this 3x3 is better. It just is. And it's better for me and it's better for the way that I cube, and I get better times on this. If we do a comparison of, let's do a T-perm for example, I know that this is going to support me better because it's a slower cube and it's just easier to turn for me. With the WRM, it's just a little bit too fast to the point where it kind of turns for me, and I don't want it to do that. With the 2x2, I can appreciate the ZhanLang as the more stable and more controllable 2x2, just because I feel like you need a bit more flexibility and you need that help when you overshoot. So I definitely think if you are going to take 2x2 very seriously, to pick that puzzle over, for example, the Cubing Classroom 2x2. But the thing is, I think this video and the message that I'm trying to share here is that the most expensive 3x3 isn't necessarily going to make you solve better. It just isn't. It's just not the way that it goes. It's like you can have an iPhone, but it doesn't necessarily make calls better than a Samsung does. So I guess watch out for my review of the WRM in the next week or so, and that will go into a little bit more detail as to why I don't particularly like solving on this puzzle. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing and it's really good, and I think it's worth the money that you're going to spend on it if you choose to buy it. I just find that it's too good for me. Let me know if you want me to elaborate on this whole budget cube idea, but hopefully it's kind of helped shed a little bit of light on what's going on in speed cubing. I know I keep repeating myself, but the most expensive puzzle isn't necessarily the one for you. And I guess just pay attention to that in the future. You're not going to have terrible times because you buy a £6 cube. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching though, guys, and thank you to Joe for sending me these two budget puzzles. If any of you guys want me to kind of go further into this and use more examples and maybe do other reviews, let me know, because I can definitely do that. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.